Hey everyone, this is Bola. I'm the founder and CEO of Clever Girl Finance, and I'm also the author of the Clever Girl Finance book series. Welcome to Clever Girl Finance TV. So I'm back again with another episode in our series Real Women Talk Money, and I'm excited to have these amazing women from Team Clever Girl Finance joining me to talk about stereotypes or being stereotyped as a woman when it comes to money. So welcome, ladies.
Hi, welcome.
I'd love for you to tell everyone who you are.
Hi, my name is Carli.
My name is Yazmir.
So let's just dive in. Have you ever been stereotyped as a woman when it comes to money?
100% yes.
Yeah.
For me, yes.
So tell me, what happened?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think not only is it layered with, just being female and being, especially in the profession that I chose, I got my bachelor's in social work. So those two things on top of each other ended up being, like, not only am I female, but also I'm in a profession that some may say, and, in some cases this is true, that you're not in it for the paycheck. They say right off the bat, you're not going to make much. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it felt almost as if I was starting out not even knowing how to advocate for myself in the field. And so, I had different voices here and there telling me, like, you're not going to make much. And, like, that in and of itself got in my head because I was like, oh, my goodness, like, what, they're right, I guess. Like, what can I do about that? Mm-hmm. And so I started off, like, straight out of college just being like, I don't really know where to start now. Like, started out, I felt weaker.
Because you're a woman in social work and you're not going to make much.
It was, like, double. Like, you're a woman and you're in social work. Like,
yeah.
That was so frustrating, but I didn't know what to do with that. Because that was one of the first times I had heard that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, boy. Like, where do I start from here? So that was rough. That was really rough.
I received stereotypes from the men in my family. A lot of times my dad. It was just, my mom spent a lot of money, so she was raising us, so it was implied that we would grow up to be the same, and I was for some time. Like, I would get money and I would spend it immediately, and I would hear my dad, like, he'll look at me in disappointment, like, you ladies, like, like, disappointed, like, every time you get money you just spend it, and things that are, stupid things. You guys need to save money. So it was just, and it was like that with all the men. It's like, oh, the women in our family, all they want to do is spend money and not save. So hearing that, it, like, I believed it. Like, I didn't feel like I had the discipline or I knew better, but then luckily, like, I got out of that mindset.
I mean, so there are many stereotypes about women when it comes to money. There's a stereotype that women are spenders, frivolous, emotional spenders, are not good with money, have no business knowing about money. Yeah. And there's also the stereotype that if you are a successful woman, that your success is because you have a rich husband, a rich boyfriend. Yep. You got divorced, you're getting alimony. Right. There is a man behind the reason for your success. Yeah. And I've been stereotyped many times. I've gone to meetings and I'll give my pitch about my business. And, I've been asked, so what does your husband think about this? I remember one incident when my husband and I were still dating. We went to Fifth Avenue in New York, and I wanted to buy something with my own money. Mm-hmm. And we go into the store, and they greet him. They don't greet me. And I start talking to this salesperson. I'm like, oh, I want to see this and this. And he starts showing me, and then kind of like, my boyfriend is like lingering around looking at other stuff. And he's like, well, hold on 1 minute. And he goes up to him and he says, oh, before you spend your money on your girlfriend, let me show you some things for you.
Oh.
And wow. I was like, excuse me? I was like, come back.
Okay. Let's talk real quick.
Excuse me. No. And I had never experienced something like that, but really they thought that we were there with him as my sponsor, with him to spend money on me, and he was the one who had the money to spend, and it could never be me. And that has happened to me so many times. There's even that instance that I talk about often when I first started saving money out of college, got my first big job, and I went to a financial planner's office, and I'm telling him, I want to learn how to invest. I want to grow my money. I want to do this. And he's like, are you married? And I'm like, no. And I thought he was asking me this because he wanted to run some numbers as a single woman. Yeah. He's like, so where did you get this money? So basically the success of the savings I had was he was attributing it to a guy. And that's, that can be those stereotypes when we feel stereotyped, or when those stereotypes are impressed upon us about what we can accomplish as women, that can really impact our financial confidence, right? Where you feel like, well, do I deserve this? Will I be able to do this? How do I ask for this? And in a way, it kind of makes us feel inferior, And I think as a result of the stereotypes that still exist, because a lot of them still exist, right? Many of them still exist, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Every day.
Oh, yes.
I'll add one more. I used to have a friend, we're not friends anymore. And he told me, he's like, I could never marry a woman like you because you're too ambitious.
Oh, wow.
Listen,
did that happen to you?
I've heard that so many times, and I've had conversations with people about that recently. Like, people will say, or that people will say, like, men might be intimidated by a powerful or confident or wealthy
A man should
woman.
love that, because you know how much value you're going to add to the team of the two of you when you're both incredible.
Wouldn't you think that?
Why is that such a fearsome thing? I don't
understand. I don't understand that either. Like, my mom said, having too much ambition is bad.
You won't find a husband. Have you been told that? I was told, I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
You won't find husband. These are my aunties, my Nigerian aunties. Just school. You just get your undergraduates and go find husband.
Oh, no. Yeah. It's crazy. Those are the things that stick with you. Unless you like retrain yourself to think differently, they stick with you. And if you don't know any better when you're impressionable too, like, you're like, oh, maybe that is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
And sometimes I have to catch myself because I project those stereotypes onto others. So for, like, example, when I call my investment company, I always expect a man. And then when a woman comes on and I'm like, oh, you're a woman. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's because it's just ingrained in me that it's always the men that are in that and it's mostly men, but there are women too, and I shouldn't be like so surprised.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, women are just as smart. We are better with money. Stats show this. And going back to my point before I derailed myself, but financial confidence is something that's really, really important, especially given the fact that so many of these stereotypes exist. Because as you excel in your career, as you excel in your business, as you excel in your life, as you start to raise kids, whatever life choices you make, you're going to be faced with one of these stereotypes one way or the other, right? And I think as women, it's really important that we build up our financial confidence where we can be confident to ask for the raise or to find the better paying job, even though everybody has said, oh, women in social work are never going to make money, where, we can empower ourselves to tell the financial advisor, no, I'm not married. This is my money, and I'm not going to give you this business because you're being a chauvinist, right? Where we can feel confident to teach our daughters and our sons about money, where we teach our daughters to be financially confident and that they can accomplish anything. And we teach our sons to value a woman who is successful and ambitious. Please. And that's who you want to be with, because she's going to get you to the next level.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yes.
When I was a teenager, I would say, like, I want to make more than my husband. And, if he wants, he could stay home and take care of the kids. And it would sound so crazy to my family. And it's like, no, it's the man that's supposed to be making the money. And in fact, you should be the one raising your kids at home. And I'm like, no, I don't see myself doing that.
Yes. I mean, the man can make the money, but I can make the money too. And we live in a world where the tables have turned so much in terms of, like, just roles, right? Gender roles are just, there is no such thing as a gender role in my mind. Like, anybody can be anything. There can be a stay-at-home dad. There can be a stay-at-home mom. There can be a breadwinning dad and a breadwinning mom. There can be, like, the fact that we're still tied into these gender roles, especially in certain cultures, can be disappointing sometimes, because it becomes pressure, and then it becomes a way where people pull you down or look at that woman yes, she's rich, yes, she's successful, but she doesn't even have a husband. She doesn't even have any children. They always find a crux behind your success to diminish what you have accomplished, even though you're doing so amazing. Right? And that annoys me. So I'm so big on financial confidence. So what are some things that you would say have helped you build up your financial confidence, knowing that all these crazy stereotypes exist?
I think one thing that I try to do a lot, and I also really try to focus on, is looking at other women who have gone before me that are just doing insanely amazing things. And like, every woman is out, we're out here doing the best that we can, and we're working hard, and seeing examples of that and looking at those people and being like, I can do that. Like, this isn't like totally unfamiliar. It's not like it's never been done before. Like, there are women out there that have done so many amazing things and live as such strong examples to me that I'm like, okay, this is great to be able to like model after. And obviously I can be myself and I can do what I love to do. I don't have to like copy someone, but just seeing that as like a goal to have is really, really encouraging for me. Just understanding it's not impossible, because look at how many people have gone before me. So I try to focus on that as well.
The way I maintain my confidence is that I always look back at everything that I've accomplished and think about how I'm probably doing better than a lot of my peers, but I want to change that. So I know the kind of person I want to become, and I'm working towards that, and then I'm going to teach my children, my family, everything that I know, and help them be confident. So that helps me.
Yeah, and for me, when it comes to financial confidence, I would say just knowing your worth. I always remind myself that I'm capable of anything. So my mom told me I can do anything I put my mind to. I know that I can accomplish this. I don't need a man to do this for me. My dad, there's something my dad would tell me when I was a teenager. He'd be like, you never want to be a liability on anyone, definitely never a man, and definitely not on yourself. You want to always be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And just knowing that my dad impressed that upon me as a young girl, there's nothing anybody can tell me about being a woman and not being able to succeed that I will believe. Like, no, you're telling a lie, because there are many women who have done it. My mom has done it, and despite lots of adversities. And why do you feel challenged by the fact that I can be successful, or I am successful? You should be happy. You should be happy to have me in your presence, to be, what it's like, how incredible is a successful, resourceful woman? How amazing is it to have that person in your life? Look at all the incredible moms that just make it work and do so many things. Imagine what life will be like if those moms were not there.
Moms are amazing.
So
moms deserve the world.
So yes, financial confidence, telling yourself you're amazing, working on your self-esteem, reflecting on the things that you have accomplished, just owning the fact that even if you're the only, even if nobody has done this, you can be the first. And you don't need anybody to be successful. You can be successful on your own, and you can have the kids, and you can have the money, and you can have a good life, and you can be your own person. So
Absolutely.
100%. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed tuning into this video. I'd love to know what you think about these money stereotypes and what you have experienced. Please leave a comment below. And if you have enjoyed watching this video, please like this video, hit subscribe on this channel, and tell all your best girlfriends about Clever Girl Finance. Finally, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Clever Girl Finance. We have a great time engaging over there. And visit clevergirlfinance.com to check out our completely free courses and other resources. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.